Hello, everyone. I am a few minutes late. We had some technical difficulties. I'm dealing with a little bit of delay and found an error from yesterday. So it's going to be an interesting one. So I actually live stream here on YouTube and I'm using OBS. And one of the things that I've been having an issue with, one, is the quality of the video. I'm not very happy with the quality. But you know what? You got to start off crappy until you get what you want. And now I'm dealing with some major delay. We've been changing around our encoding, our bit rates, and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we'll see what it looks like. But you know what? You didn't come here to start off with any problems. Um, I'm Phylecia Jones, and you are watching Travel the World as a Speaker, where we combine the two things I absolutely love, and that is talking about travel and then leveraging our skills and our talent to do public speaking so that we can travel the world. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And this is all brought to you by iFind You Clothes, where we actually go out, we do the hunting, we do the researching, and we deliver speaking opportunities to you. So you can go check us out at ifindyouclothes.com, and at the very top of the page, you can get your free personalized assessment on whether or not you can attract high paid speaking gigs. So really excited about all of that. And before we even jump into anything, and as I'm thinking about a travel story, I don't really think I have a travel story today because we're going to talk about travel and speaking. So that is going to be the travel story. But there was an issue that was identified by one of our watchers here on YouTube. So thank you so very much. So whenever I moved to my main screen and I did the whiteboard, my sound wasn't there. And I have to remember, I brought in a very new scene and I didn't bring the sound in too. So what I'm going to do after this show, I'm going to record a very special video. It's going to be pretty short, just explaining what was on the whiteboard. I mean, I was writing as I was talking, so I'm going to explain that. So for those of you who watched yesterday's show, thank you so very much. And I will put a link to it in the description box of the original show so that you can go back and watch it. So gonna take care of that. Yeah, just all kinds of technology is a thing. Technology is definitely a thing that happens. I need some water. Oh my gosh. With that, welcome to the show. That's the one thing I will say for all of you who ever decide to jump into the world of live streaming. It's not always going to go the way you want it to, and you have to be okay with that. It's absolutely fine. That's one thing I had to, when I was live streaming before, was I used to get like all in my feelings and start yelling and just, because the technology wasn't doing the right thing. And what I realized is that technology does what technology does. So you have to just go with the punches with it, especially if you're going to be doing this on a daily basis. It is what it is. You just take a deep breath and just go with it. It's the same thing with speaking. Hey Rita, how you doing? All right, so today we're talking about travel the world as a speaker. And I forgot that I really didn't tell you why I started this show. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of background of me and how I kind of landed into the world of speaking and how I realized that it was a great way for me to travel and to grow my business at the same exact time. So, of course, if you have any questions about anything, all you have to do is put them in the comment box. And if you want to see whatever graphics I have going on, you have to join us over here on YouTube. You can go to ifindyouclothes.com/YouTube. And you know what? While you're here, just subscribe. And then you can check out the new video of where I messed up yesterday talking about how to make money with courses. All right. Travel the world as a speaker. Now, this inspired this show. And I have to tell you that I kind of connected these two in my brain a long time ago, but I never connected these two to tell other people that this is a thing that you can do. I have always been a traveler at heart. When I was working for the Navy as a computer scientist, one of my very first trips they sent me on was to, oh my gosh, where did I go first? I think I went to Germany first. So I went to Germany for the very first time, never had a passport ever in my life. I traveled when I was young, but we would, of course, we would drive to see family up in New York. I grew up in Alabama. We go over to Atlanta, Florida, and we went to Jamaica a couple of times. But that was back in the day when you only needed a birth certificate to kind of get back and forth to those type of places. And of course, we went up to Canada because my dad grew up in Buffalo, New York, and same thing. That was in the good old days, in the olden days when you could just cross the border and get back into the United States with no issues. And sometimes all you had to do was have a birth certificate. Well, so we did that kind of travel. But when I first started working for the Navy, I didn't have a passport. So I really didn't have a passport. And they said, well, we want to send you, was it Germany? I think I got sent to Germany. I forget. There were a couple of last minute trips where they sent me like over into Europe. Yeah, I think it was Germany for the first time, and I didn't have a passport. And of course, I was good. Like, hey, whatever I needed to do to get a passport, I was going to find a way to get a passport. So I started looking around and realized there were only 5 passport places in the United States where you can get a passport overnight. At that time, I was living in San Diego. You could get one in LA, which was cool. Now that I live in Denver, I live in Colorado. You can get one here in Denver, but I had never been to Denver at that point, so it wasn't even a consideration. But I was in San Diego, so I was thinking I can go to LA. But typical girl drama. I was dating a guy, and I was dating a guy, and he lived in San Jose. And what I would do is every month or every other month, I would go and visit him. I know that's, when you think you in love and you think you found the one. Yeah, he wasn't the one, just FYI. So I was dating this guy in San Jose, and when I was doing my research trying to figure out where I can get a passport, because I literally needed this passport within a week if I was going to go. And I had the weekend to figure it out. And I was going to book the travel because, when you're working for those type of places, they can book travel in 24 hours and you're on an airplane. And so discovered that they had a passport place in San Francisco. So, and sometimes we would drive into San Francisco, not all the time because it would take some effort, not that much effort, but you have to take the effort to get there. And I told him, how you call it? Hey, so you feel like going to the movies or something? And he's like, what do you need? I was like, well, I need to get a passport, but I need to spend the entire day in San Francisco because I need to drop it off first and then have to hang out there and then, wait a few hours and then get the passport. But at the same time, I had to go and get all these letters of why I needed a passport really fast, and they could do one within a few hours. It was absolutely nuts. But the moral of the story is I was able to get my passport. I went to the movies. What did I see? I don't remember. I saw Barry Bonds walking down the street in San Francisco. San Francisco is one of my ultimate favorite places in the world to visit. I love San Francisco. And I didn't love London yet, but San Francisco was number one until I went to London. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this place. So I went to San Francisco, got the passport, went back to, this was on a Saturday. No, it was on a Friday because my work hours every other Friday, I got every other Friday off. So I flew up on a Thursday. We hung out that Friday, got the passport. Saturday, came back home Sunday, booked the travel on Monday, and I think it was the following week, I was actually on a plane for the very first time going to Europe. So that started, I have always had the travel bug, but that really started the oh my gosh, I can get on an airplane and travel type thing. And of course, from there, with that particular job, I had to go to Europe quite a bit because I was working with NATO forces, doing quite a few things. So I was all about this passport thing, and I had a red passport and a blue passport when you work for the government, all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of cool, but that really kind of fueled what I wanted to do. And unfortunately, that project ran out of money and I wasn't able to do that as much. So I was still able to travel around the United States. Eventually ended up on a project that took me back and forth to Nebraska. Wasn't sexy. But in between time, new guy who I'm married to now, we still traveled, went to quite a few, oh gosh, we went to Italy, I don't, we've in national parks. I mean, we did a lot of traveling. So I've always wanted to travel. So when I moved here, when I took an early retirement and I moved to another job, no, sorry, I quit and moved to another job. That didn't have travel. I was hurting. I was really, really hurting. And then of course, when I first started my business, I didn't think I was going to be able to travel because, everybody says you got to put your head down and work your butt off. And I'm one of those, like, if I don't travel, I start to get antsy. Like, I need to get on an airplane. So this whole pandemic thing has been a little rough for a girl. We do own an RV, so I was able to go out in an RV. But yeah, it's been a little rough because I was supposed to leave the country 3 times this year to go to the Olympics, to go speak in the UK, and I was going to go to Poland for another event that I was going to pitch for speaking. Oh well, it is what it is. But with that, it took me a while to realize that the speaking thing was a very interesting way to travel again, and and with the things with business, of course, when you learn how to write things off and you could, write off trips and stuff, it was like, okay, ding, ding, ding. So I had a business coach who told me about all the beautiful things around speaking. And of course, I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I try to avoid speaking in public as much as possible. I get really nervous. And this is coming from someone who doing all of that other stuff when I had my day job as a computer scientist and all the travel. I was a professional cheerleader for a few years, and I performed from high school into college. I had a scholarship in the marching band as a featured baton twirler. So I'm a baton twirler. So being on stage wasn't a thing. Talking was a whole different thing. I have also taught classes. I've had my own dance teams and my own majorette squad. So I'm a reluctant speaker. So I tried to avoid it, but it was the one thing that, okay, I can do this. I can handle this. And when I was leveraging speaking to grow the business, it was working. And then I sat down one day and I was like, well, what else can I do? So I started looking at conferences to go to. And then I realized that they were looking for speakers. And I was like, wait a minute. I can do this at the same time, get on stage, market the business, and leverage speaking. And what I discovered as a speaker with events is that you have your own little special party as a speaker. You get to meet all the other speakers and you get a special dinner. And I was like, okay, I can do this. It sounds so much fun. And one of the very first, it actually wasn't the first. I've actually did quite a few speaking going down into Arizona, for events down in Arizona back and forth for a while. But one of the favorite ones was a travel conference, and they had a tour, they had a speaker dinner. I mean, it was like, okay, why am I not doing this more? And that's what got the ball rolling. And that's when it clicked. I can use speaking as a way to travel the world. And from that point on, if you give me a task, and with the research capabilities that I have, I'm on it. That's all. And lights out, everybody. I'm done. We are on the road. And from that point on, I did a lot of travel, a lot of speaking. And the way I did a lot of this stuff was, of course, you have to go through and pitch. And this is how I created, or kind of one of the reasons why I created iFind You Close, because if you are a member, you'll realize that all this work that you see in there is what I did for myself. I sat down and did that work for myself, looking for speaking engagements, and it absolutely worked. I got booked a lot. On average, since I started doing that, I've been doing about, the most I've ever done in a year is 36 speaking engagements, 32 or 36. The least I've done is 16, but that's when I started. But I've been averaging about 24 every year since then. And what I realize is this ability to leverage speaking, not only so that you can travel, it really does give you, if you're running a business or you have a brand, it does give you a bigger credibility. because now it seems more fancy, like, oh my gosh, you went to another country to speak. And now you get credibility, you get testimonials from people in other parts of the planet. And now, even now, I started having quite a few clients out of the UK. So all of a sudden I'm famous with like 10 people in the UK, which is hilarious. So a lot of my collaborative partners, even in iFind You Clothes, are all like British people. My marketing team is out of the UK, and it's been really cool. And now I do find people who love traveling to the United States from the UK, and so they started using iFind You Clothes. So all of it comes full circle, and with so many benefits. That's the thing. It comes full circle with the number of benefits that you can create when it comes to speaking. When it comes to speaking, and I absolutely love it. So not only is your ability to leverage the speaking, not only to just grow your business, it'll grow your business, it'll also build your authority. Now it's not just people in your neighborhood or in your state, which I think you still should conquer your state, conquer where you live. Now, even when you're in the United States, you just start branching out, and all of a sudden you get a fan club in a different state. So now you have a reason to go back and forth to that state, and people treat you very differently when they see you've made the effort to travel to where they are. I don't know why. But it has been a very eye-opening discovery that when you are willing to get on a plane, go to a different part of the world, people are a little bit more open to negotiating with you with travel, with hotel, with food, with, all the things, transportation. They're a little bit more open, because we like to think a lot of people are doing this. A lot of people don't travel the world and speak. I mean, we know the big time people, we know that there's some folks who do it, but for the most part, and depending on the industry and the community that you are in, you might be the only one. And when you do go to a place where you are the only American and you sound very American, you're kind of a highlight, and people just want to talk to you, even if you can't understand what they're saying. which is pretty cool. I got some advice a long time ago when I was first doing the speaking. It was from someone who was more of a motivational speaker. She said, you will be bigger outside of where you live. And I kind of understood what she said. I understood what she said. It didn't make sense, but I understood. And when I started branching out to do all of this speaking outside of where I live, it clicked, like, oh my gosh, it really did click. And for whatever reason, I can't tell you why. I don't know the psychology behind it. I've talked to other people who are big time speakers. I even have speaking mentors, and they say the same thing. You're just bigger when you leave home. And I don't know if it's because people think like, you're here, I don't have to pay you, I don't have to book you, you'll always be around. I don't know what it is, but people seem to really appreciate the effort that you have taken to visit from a different part of the world. Now, if you're going to a conference where everybody is from different parts of the world, it's the same thing, a little bit different. It's the same. You get to make more friends now, and they really do if it's a good event, they will take care of you as a speaker. But if you're jumping into, if you've niched, I want to say niched, if you niched or niched, I go back and forth because people say it different ways. If you've niched down to a very specific group, you might find that you are the only one who is bouncing back and forth all over the world to speak. And they really do take care. And when I say they take care of you, like the next day, people want to know where you are, come have food, we'll pick you up. We'll hang out with you. It really is a very magical experience when you can leverage this to travel the world. And unfortunately, I wish we could do more of it right now, but it'll come back. It'll all come back. Very optimistic about it all. So this is why we have to prepare this year so that we can get the credibility and we can let people know that we know exactly what we're talking about and we are worthwhile to go to their event. And that's why I absolutely love this. And that's why I wanted to start this show, because I didn't realize this knowledge that I had until a friend called from a conference that I traveled to some years ago. She's been following, and she now is the marketing director of a travel community. And she said, hey, I would like to, she drew up a contract. I would like for you to come and talk about how you were able to do all this traveling while speaking. Because I always mentioned it. And it was like the only reason I started a business was to travel. I don't care what business it was. I just wanted to get out of the house. That's why I moved to a place with an international airport so I could have the most direct flights. Yes, I do these things. And it never even clicked that this was something that people would be interested in. I always just said it like in passing, like I only do this so I can travel, and I love it. And when I started seeing that inside of that community, we had at the most like 200 people that would come and hear about, okay, how to leverage this traveling and speaking. I was like, wait a minute. This is a thing. So that's why I started, and this really is just storytelling of why I absolutely love this, and how you can absolutely do this. And so let me give you a couple of tips on how you can actually do this. You don't need to be a business owner. If you are a 9-to-5 person, you can absolutely do this. You can absolutely do this as well. All you need is to figure out what you are gifted in. What can you speak on that other people can learn from? And from that point on, you can craft a talk, you can craft a pitch to get in front of whoever you need to get in front of. Now, if you're in a 9-to-5 and you do technology, tech conferences are always looking for people like you. I list tech conferences and iFind You Close all the time. They're always looking for people like you. And each one is different. They will either pay you a stipend to come. They'll pay for your travel. If it's a big time conference, you can go back and leverage with your company or negotiate with your company to pay for it. For those of you who run businesses, traveling to speak is a great way to write things off. I mean, don't go broke. It's a great thing. It's a great way to write things off. And because you are leaving your home, you have a little bit more leg to negotiate with, because now, if you're going to travel 15,000 miles, it's like, okay, now that I'm going to get on an airplane, let's talk about a few things, because now you have a little bit more to leverage and to negotiate with. So those are just a minor ways. Now, I actually do have a course on how to travel the world as a speaker. If you go to ifindyoukclose.com/courses, that's where you can find all of it. I will absolutely put it in the for those of you on YouTube, it will be in the description box if you want to go check that out. For those of you who are on, if you are on IG, I'm actually about to type it in for you right now, and I'll put it in the description box as well. So it is iFind You Close. And of course, I'm not spelling anything properly because Google is smarter than me and will do it for me. iFindYouClose.com/travel. And inside of that course is $12. It's not that expensive. I break down all of these different ways that you can travel, that you can leverage traveling as a speaker. If you have a 9-to-5 job, a couple of things that you need to do, because it gets really interesting when you have a 9-to-5 job, when it comes to researching and figuring out how to make this work. And then for my business owners, we talk about using your network and actually getting out and seeing what is available to you when it comes to being able to travel and speak. So I'm going to put this on the screen here on YouTube so you can see. I'm going to move myself over. Well, I'm at the very top. So how to travel the world as a public speaker. You travel the world by leveraging your speaking skills and getting on stage. And it's just a mini course. It's really easy. Like I said, it's $12. It doesn't cost that much, but it just gives you a good idea of the possibilities and how to go about researching and pitching to find these opportunities for those of you who want to speak. And it is amazing when you decide to get out there. So like I said before, for my 9 to 5 people, you can capitalize on your day job. It's going to take a little bit of researching to figure out it's going to research on both your day job side and outside in the world to go and find these right opportunities for you when it comes to getting on stage. Because there are a lot of conferences that your company probably participates in, you just don't know it. And and you can definitely take whatever your skill. You'll be surprised. People are thirsty for knowledge, especially at these conferences where you get 3,000 people in a room, and they just want to hear people just like you telling them, maybe I can do this to make my job a little bit better. This is how I move up in my career. Or for those who are extra technical, like here's how you use a piece of software. You can absolutely do all of that with your day job. And of course, my business owners, this is just a way to learn how to expand your reach and expand who you are getting in front of. So if you're definitely interested, I would go check out the course. But when it comes to the how part, it really does come down to figuring out what you can talk about and who you can talk about it to. That's going to be the biggest thing that most people get stuck on, is the how and who, or what and who. It's the what we can talk about and who we can talk about it to. And sometimes it's easier than what you think. So, oh my gosh. So if you got any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment box. And I know I'm just kind of, storytelling. I didn't get down to extreme details, but the biggest thing is what you can talk about so that you can leverage, because this is a possibility. Even if you work for a nonprofit, even if you want to do this outside of your day job, you don't have to leverage your day job. What you have to do now is kind of look in your personal life and figure out what you can talk about. What are you good at? Like, what are the things people ask you about every day? If you are a cookie baker, you'd be surprised. There are conferences for people who make cookies. And and you can go and talk about, like, here's my method for making the best chocolate chip cookies ever. And you can absolutely use all of that to get on stage. So you got to look at, if you're a business owner, what you can leverage inside your business to get on stage. For my 9 to 5, what you have learned at your job that other people can learn from you as an extreme expert on it. And outside of that, if you don't want to talk about anything dealing with work or business, look at your personal life. What is it that you know how to do? What is it that you know how to do? What do friends ask you? You can take that, turn it into a talk, and then go find the right stages for you to get on. You can absolutely find the right stages for you to get on. So there are many, many ways that we can leverage this speaking so that you can travel. And like I said, one of the biggest reasons why I started doing all of this was to travel. So I didn't go in with like, I need to go make $1 million. It was like, look, I like the parties and I like free trips. That is how I started. Hi, love Sherry Amor. How you doing? That is why I started doing all of this. And along the way, yes, I grew a business, made some money, and was able to leverage quite a few different opportunities so I could get to the travel paid for, or I could get paid. Now, what I will say, which is interesting, so when I go out and do my bigger tech conferences, where, I fly in and I fly out, those are a little bit different because I only fly in for the day. And unfortunately, I haven't gone to any places that I liked. I went to Connecticut. It was cold and rainy. And then the last one was Chicago when it was cold. It was really cold. It was actually last February I was in Chicago. That was actually one of my last biggest speaking engagements before the world shut down. Cry. But it was really cool. And to be honest, I had only gone to Chicago one other time, and we were only there for a few hours. So this was my first time seeing is it the Green Mile, the Miracle Mile, the Green Mile, where the water and all that stuff. So that was my first time seeing it. So that was pretty impressive. But I didn't have a lot of time to hang out because I had to I had to get ready for this particular talk and know where I'm going and everything like that. But the cool thing is, I could bring my husband with me. He didn't want to come with me on that trip. So I was literally just in and out and came back home. But I still got a chance to go to a very new place. And one of the other things that I have done when I do travel is I will meet people who have followed me on YouTube, Instagram, and I will tell people like, hey, I'm going to be here. Let's hang out. So I have made a lot of friends, and that's how I keep getting these amazing opportunities to get on stage. So that's why when you are doing this, you have to make friends, because as you travel, as you speak, as you show up as an expert, you'll make these very interesting friends that'll call you up a year later and say, hey, I would like to bring your entire program over to my country and I want you to speak for us. And you're like, okay, let's do that. That sounds like a good idea. And also these people that you meet, you can call them when you need something as well, and they will get on a plane to support you. So this has been one of the added benefits of being able to travel the world as a speaker. Now, for those of you who are coming a little bit later, thank you. Love Sherry Amour. I like saying that. Do you speak French? Parlez-vous français? Un peu français, not so good. Yeah, not so good. I don't even know what I just said. I think I said my French is little. I speak little French. I do not speak another language. If you can speak another language, then geez Louise, you can travel to even more places. But one thing I will say, when you are traveling and looking for speaking opportunities outside of the country, a lot of events are in English. A lot of you wish. She said, I wish. Yeah. A lot of events are in English, even all over the world. There are a lot of events in English. So don't worry about whether or not you speak another language. I mean, speaking another language does open the door a little bit wider for you. But a lot of events across the world are in English. I have found them. And they are very interested in you. The only thing you'll have to worry about is that international audiences, basically, if you are American going other places, they operate a little bit differently. So I would just leave that to you to discover on your own. Oh, and it's going to be amazing when you realize, like, oh, my jokes do not hit the same in a different country. All right, folks. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them down in the comment box while I am wrapping up. So while I'm wrapping up, if you have any questions about anything, finding opportunities, of course, I would love to invite you over to iFind You Close, where we deliver speaking opportunities every Monday. We deliver speaking opportunities every Monday. Right now, we have a mix of a lot of virtual events and a lot of events that are scheduled for later on in the year and into 2022. So if you want access to that, go ahead, check us out, sign up. If not, you can stop by and get your assessment on attracting high-paid speaking gigs. It's customized. I get to look at all of your stuff and tell you what you need to do. So go ahead and sign up for that as well. And tomorrow, I'm not sure what we're talking about tomorrow because I got to go look at the schedule. So I've been sitting here just kind of organizing all my things. I will say, running a business, it ain't for the faint of heart, y'all. And trying to get speaking engagements on top of running a business, woo-wee, telling you. All right, we're going to talk about finances tomorrow. We're going to talk about managing finances as a speaker, because things get a little interesting when it comes to money. And we're going to talk about some of the pros, cons, and some of the traps I want you to avoid when you launch into this world of speaking, and making sure that you run a business behind it, starting an LLC, because we do not want to continuously fund all of this through our personal finances. That's called getting broke, and we don't need to get broke right now. All right. So we're going to talk about finances on tomorrow. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. So we'll move back to the evening hours during the week. Of course, everybody here, Madame loves Sherry Amour. Thank you. Merci for being here today. I studied French for 4 years, and then I moved to California. So I have this bastardized French Spanish thing going, and then I made a big effort to learn Italian. So I got all kinds of Latin words, Latin inspired words in my brain. And I've been watching a lot of Korean dramas. So now I got to learn a whole new language. I'm a hot mess in the brain. I do know how to order food, and I know how to go to the bathroom. That's the least I could do when I'm in a different country. All right. So for everybody here on Instagram, thank you so very much for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow. If you need me, you know where to find me. So take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Get some groceries. I did that this weekend. Go buy some groceries. I'll see ya. All right, for everyone here on YouTube, you know I appreciate you for hanging out with me. Of course, I will put all of the information for you to check out the course, How to Travel the World as a Speaker. If you have any questions, put them in the comment box. I got quite a few things from folks over the weekend, so that was great. And I'm going to do my extra little video where I messed up. Yep, I messed up. So, and hopefully I've been coming across with a delay. And hopefully that's okay. I don't know. Just put them in the comment. I got quite a few. I was checking the sound because we're working on some tech things because I'm trying to make sure my video is a little bit better, but it seems to be hurting me on this other side. But I also have a husband who plays video games all day. Yeah. All right, you all take care of yourself, and I will see you tomorrow evening. Bye.